Hey guys, Drifter here. I've got an honest commentary for you today called The Fan Base. I was originally going to call it Talking to Fans, but I do more with fans than just talk to them, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll make it Dealing with Fans, and then it made it seem like fans were a nuisance or a burden, and that didn't have quite the right connotation, and I moved it back to what's it like having fans, and that seemed very self-serving, and it also didn't feel quite right, so I just changed it to The Fan Base. I'd like to mention here in the very beginning of the commentary that as soon as this video goes live, I'm doing a live stream and an open lobby, and the link to that is down there in the description. The very first link, it's on Twitch TV, that's where I'll be running it, and you're more than welcome to stop by, but I'll be there for hours and hours and hours, so don't worry about it, just enjoy this video first. And I would like to say that it's really kind of weird to have fans, I guess. I don't really think of myself as being a popular person, because I was never particularly popular in high school, not really that popular in college or grade school or middle school or anywhere in particular. I was always kind of a dweeb or a dorcas, maybe a more nonchalant one that didn't care about anything, but still not, definitely not in the cool kids club. I wasn't in that club of cool kids, so it's really weird now that people look up to me or think that I'm such a swell fellow, or to even admit the fact that I have fans is a very, very strange thing, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And you get some things going on like this. I received a message in my inbox from a fellow named Optic Joker. I'm going to put the text up here on the screen and pause the gameplay for just a moment, and I'll resume it in a minute. If you would like to see this somewhere else outside the video in a browser somewhere, there's an Imgur link in the description. It says, "Hello, Mr. Drifter. I'm writing this message just to show you my gratitude for everything you have done. I know you probably get this a lot, but I wanted to tell you about my little brother who passed away a few months ago. His name is Ashton, and he loved playing Call of Duty, and even more, he loved watching your vids, not just for the information, but for the commentary and the amazing advice that you gave about life and how you spread wisdom. He actually wanted to be a commentator like you when he grew up." This is actually very hard to read. I've got another message later that's more critical. I don't deal with compliments very well because of I've never been very popular, so when people send me compliments, I'm usually looking for veiled insults. But as this one continues, so I know you're really busy, and a lot of people might tell you this, but you're truly one of the most amazing person I've met. After seeing your videos, I can understand why my brother loved you so much, and spread your love and wisdom in a way many people can, and I just wanted to say thank you. I really have problems with compliments, even to this day. Thank you, Mr. Drifter, for everything that you do. You touch my brother's heart, and I know for certain that you're a hero, and more others are out there. And you also wanted to say thank you, and that apparently I gave his brother the greatest gift of all. And I'm not entirely sure what gift that was. I don't know if it was inspiration or entertainment or anything like that, but this is the message that kind of cracked my skull open and made it sink in that maybe what I'm doing here on the internet talking to people has an effect outside of you know, Call of Duty or YouTube or my own little room here in the house where I set up my office. And it was a really strange feeling that set in, that people were legitimately taking the advice that I was giving, and they were considering me to be an inspirational or an intelligent person, which is a very, very scary feeling to have that sort of influence. And when it comes to Ashton, I felt and still do feel very, very sad knowing that a fan passed away. That's not something that I've ever had to deal with before. So Ashton, wherever you are out there in heaven or whatever afterlife you do or don't believe in, or I don't know how to say it or articulate it, but I wish you the best of luck, and I wish your family the best of luck. And Mr. Optic Joker, I feel very sorry about your brother, and I hope that everybody in your family gets over this quicker. I've been sitting on that message for a long time, been meaning to do a commentary about it, but haven't quite got around to it. And we're going to change gears a little bit here and talk about what I call a numbers problem, and not trying to demean the death of Ashton in any way, but at a certain point, the numbers problem sets in, and it's just entirely probable that fans will die. Right now I'm sitting on 170,000 subscribers. That doesn't mean necessarily that they're fans, but at least 170,000 people have heard of me and decided that I was worth following for one particular reason or another. And when you get a population that large, a certain percentage of them will die. A certain percentage of them will be male, a certain percentage will be female, a certain percentage will be gay or straight or mixed gendered, a certain percentage of them will be you know, Jews that are Satanists on the side. It doesn't, I could just say, David, you with the glasses and the red shirt watching this video, I'm talking directly to you, and there's probably going to be about 5 Davids out there with glasses and a red shirt watching this video, and it's going to really freak them out. And that That happens a lot. The numbers problems cause it to be more difficult to spend a lot of time with any one particular person. I try very hard to answer most of my tweets. I get like 70% of tweets answered and about 95% of messages in my inbox. Can't answer all of them, but as the channel continues to grow, they pile in more and more and more, and I spend more and more and more of my time on Twitter and inbox. I'm going to have to scale that back a little bit, and I don't like to because I do like talking to people, but I just can't because I would spend all day doing it. The same thing happens when people want to play on Xbox. You get a lot of requests every day, and some people, I always try to reply to people and just politely say, no, I can't play on Xbox, or my friends list is full, or something like that. Most people take it okay. Some people see it as very insulting that I should be spending time with them, but if I spent 5 minutes per day with each and every person that wanted to, I would spend probably about 20 hours a day on Xbox playing, talking, that sort of thing, and I do need to eat and sleep and that sort of stuff. And another personal story that I have here about the numbers problem is not too long ago in Battlefield 3, when this channel was a fraction of the size it is now, I made a few 9/11 jokes about crashing airplanes into buildings. Very insensitive stuff, but I've always been a pretty cheeky guy and I never really thought much of it. Later that day, I received a message from a subscriber that lost his wife in 9/11. It was a very long paragraph. I believe it was a link to a blog or an article that he'd written. And the poor fellow, if I'm remembering correctly, still has nightmares and PTSD from losing his wife, and it made me feel really, really awful for making 9/11 jokes. And that also kind of made me realize that, you know, there's probably a lot of people that are watching this video right now that are 9/11 subscribers. I actually had a younger fellow get mad and scream at me in comments and in private messages because I made a video that was 9 minutes and 11 seconds long, and he thought it was some sort of weird inside joke. And the same thing goes if I wanted to crack jokes about the Sandy School shooting or Columbine's shooting or any particularly large event that now with the numbers involved, there's somebody going to be connected to that in some way, and it's going to be directly insulting some person. Instead of just tossing it out randomly on the internet for everybody to go hardy hardy har and move on with, it's a very different personal kind of feeling. And because of that, not directly because of that, but in some way, I've decided to adopt a policy of talking to and treating fans in the same way that I treat everybody else in the world, because I do a lot of my business online, so talking to any number of you online is no different than talking to what I would consider my business partners through Skype and email and that sort of stuff. And this is my advice for how to treat people. You can take it or leave it. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. This is usually to counter my natural ingrained racism and the preconceived judgments about how people look or how they dress or how they initially come off. Whatever they say, try to give them the benefit of the doubt unless it's something particularly dangerous, because most of the time most people are honest and they're not lying to you, not trying to trick you. Always be respectful to people, even if you don't feel that they are a person deserving of respect. The person almost always feels that they deserve the respect, and if you don't show that to them, a lot of times they get angry, or even if they don't get angry, they get kind of conniving and malicious, and you don't want that. So even if you don't have to, always show respect to other people. Yes sir, yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am. You know, you don't treat your wait staff bad because they handle your food and they might handle it inappropriately. And always be kind. Be as kind as you possibly can without overexerting yourself, but there's absolutely no need to be rude or impolite. When it comes to people looking for criticism, I've found that harsh criticism very rarely works. I get a lot of messages in my inbox from people that want me to criticize their works or their commentary or something like that, and I always, you know, a lot of times they're looking for honest feedback, and I try to give that. I have had 1 or 2 occasions which it went particularly bad. There was a commentator, I believe his name was Wads, and he told me he wanted feedback, and I'm honestly not sure if he said he wanted critical feedback or not, but I gave it to him, and it was really harsh. And he ended up quitting and telling me, thank you for letting me know how bad I was at this. And after that point, I decided I didn't want to do critical feedback anymore. So when you're giving feedback to people, critical feedback is one thing, but you need to structure it in a way that allows them to improve and better themselves. As mentioned before in the sponsorship commentary, the philosophy is do no harm. You don't want to cause people harm financially, emotionally, spiritually, Physically, definitely, that's a little bit hard on the internet. You don't want to encourage behaviors that cause harm to the person. If anything, the opposite. But in a worst case scenario, you want to be completely neutral and help people out when possible. A lot of people need help with a lot of different projects. On YouTube, on my end, it's people looking for shout-outs and likes or feedback or some sort of hookup because they want to meet somebody else. And when it's possible, when it's conceivable, when it doesn't hurt yourself, I believe that you should help people. That doesn't mean I'm a like machine or a like robot, but I do try to help a couple of people a day, the people that really need it, because if I helped everybody all the time, I'd just overexert myself and probably die from exhaustion. But if it's at all possible, I do help. I'm going to move on to another topic now called Team Drift. I haven't talked about this in a long time. I'm going to be bringing it back up a little bit in some in-depth episodes, and I hope that my very fancy microphone is not picking up the fucking airplane that just flew over my house. But a while back, I made Team Drift, Team DRFT. It's in some of my coupon codes, and it was kind of an open invite clan. It wasn't run through any of the Call of Duty networks or COD Elite or anything. It's just like if you wanted to change your clan tag to DRFT, indicating that you were a fan of me or of this show or of, I don't know, I guess gun stats or education or the better parts of YouTube and gaming in general, then you could just do that. There was no formal invitation, no requirements anytime. If you just wanted to let people know that you're a Drifter fan, or if you ever bumped into me online, I'm pretty nice and I do send invites to people that run the DRFT tag, and it worked pretty well. But I got a message from another fellow that wasn't particularly happy about it. I'm going to pull that one up and I'm going to read most of it about as fast as I can. Again, this one's in the Immigrant Gallery. It says, from Pebbles00, first off, I think you're a fabulous commentator and I love all of your videos, and I'm not writing this out of spite. I just think it was flat out wrong, blah blah, where is it? Personally, I don't see anything like Team Gamertag and Team... what? Never mind. I almost read it wrong. It says, personally, whenever I see anything like Team Gamertag and Team Drift, the only thing that comes to mind is the person who the team is about is just trying to create a bandwagon effect. It takes away the intimacy of having the personal relationship with the commentator, and what used as hey guys turns into hey Team X whenever that intimate turns into something that is belittling and supports a hollow ploy to rally up your fan base, which can be something for sports teams. It would be like chanting let's go Yankees or something like that. It seems that when one team, well, let's skip to something, it puts the person, the commentator, on a pedestal above everyone else, including their fans. And from what I've gathered from your videos, you seem like a humble and seem human, and you don't seem like the kind of person that wants to be posed as a godlike person, and that's definitely true. He goes on and continues about a lot of other things here, and I'm just going to leave that up for a minute or two, but you can see it in the Immigrant album. And it's very true that when I made this team, I didn't want to put myself up on a pedestal, and just getting this message in my inbox kind of made me back off a little bit, because when it was like a day or two later, I did a Gamma Labs plug, and everybody kind of rallied behind that in this Team Drift kind of way to do the Gamma Labs thing, and that was kind of scary because I felt like I was doing harm and kind of convincing people to buy things they might not have wanted to buy or been ready to buy just because of the bandwagon effect. But I'm going to try to bring Team Drift back in a more casual manner. It's very casual, nothing required about that. And when it comes to that, I don't want an army of idiots. I hate bandwagons. I don't like bandwagon effects. I don't need a bandwagon behind me. Matter of fact, if I get a bandwagon behind me, it's going to push me all kind of places I don't want to go, so I don't want that. If anything, I would just like to be in touch with a collection of reasonable individuals, not necessarily even like-minded ones, because if we're all like-minded, we'll get groupthink and bad things happen when that happens. But if you'd like to show any kind of support, casual or not, you can rock the Team Drift tag. If not, not a big deal, not insulted, don't really care. I just don't like creating bandwagons. Kind of running out of time on this commentary. I've covered a lot of different topics. I hope that you found it interesting, at least maybe from my point of view, and for life in general. I hope that you've learned something useful. Again, if you'd like to check out the live stream in Open Lobby, I should have that live as soon as this video goes live, so you can just click that Twitch link right down there in the description. Drifter out.